Hello, and welcome to the video. My name is Lex, and today I'm drawing the 6th sign in the zodiac, and it's Virgo. And for Virgo, for some reason, while I was brainstorming ideas, because you know I'm trying to do animals for all of them, while I was brainstorming ideas, it just was really apparent to me that I should go with a deer. And the reason for that is deer are very elegant. They're delicate. Not fragile, but delicate. They're elegant, and they're quite beautiful, actually. I love deer. People don't give them enough credit. But yeah, I decided to go with the deer. And while I was brainstorming ideas, I thought maybe I should try to do a skeletal sort of look to it, because I wanted every single one of these drawings or all these zodiac pieces to have their own style. And I haven't done a skeletal one yet. But as I was playing around with it, those tribal art vibes crept up on me, so it ended up being a little different than I expected it to be, and that is totally okay, because if you've seen any of my other videos, usually I start with one thing, and it just doesn't feel right, so I go with something else. But I really like the skeletal look. Actually, for another one, I'll probably end up doing something like this. I know it's just, when I say skeletal, I don't mean like, ooh, spooky Halloween skeleton, I mean drawing skeletons. The Bear Rough Draft, and I think they have a certain beauty to them. They're very simple, but they're fluid, and you can see all the action lines. You can see exactly where everything is going, and I really like that. Oh dang, and that ear right there, that inner ear, that is where the tribal art hit me. It's an art style that I gravitate towards. I just think it's so fun and unique and different, and I really, really love tribal art. And I definitely cheated, alright? Okay, I cheated because I said that all of these were going to have a different style, except I already did tribal art in my Taurus video, if you haven't checked it out already. And it's a little bit different though. This type of tribal art is a little different. Right now, I'm doing exactly what I did in the Taurus video. The same style. However, this was just me getting a feel for it. You know, sometimes you gotta get a little bit of feel for it. I'm going to erase all of that, and I'm going to start from scratch with a different version of tribal art, which is much more fluid, much more dynamic, and it has sort of a swirly, vortexy look, and I love it. Not like flames, but I don't know, I've never done this tribal art style before, but it turned out dang well for my first time, and so I'll probably use it later. Like, just look at that. Look how swirly and cool it is. Wait till you see the back leg. Like, dang. It turned out really well. And it's all thanks to the cut tool, because I can't say that. I just really like the cut tool. Actually, I'm due to get a tattoo in a few days. My very first tattoo. I know I'm such a baby. But my very first tattoo. And when I was little, I taught myself how to do the tribal art style because I aspired to be a tattoo artist, or at least that was like my dream job when I was a little kid. And let's be honest, it would still be pretty dang cool today, but you know, things change. But that's why I learned tribal art, and so for my first tattoo I decided that I was definitely gonna do a tribal art design because, for old time's sake. Not like this though. This is too cool. The cool thing about this art style is whoever does it, it's extremely unique to them. Because you can't duplicate it just by, you know, when you're an artist and you're trying to get references and all that jazz, you can't duplicate tribal art. It's so individualistic and it's quite amazing. Sure, you could probably trace over it and you'd get basically the same thing, but that's not like freehand. It's a little different. Oh, and I should probably mention, I did decide to go with a green theme for this one because for some reason, the color green just really seems to suit Virgo. I know green is usually a healing color in Virgo as well. You know what? I don't really think that they're much of healers. They're strict, and they like to stick to their schedules, and they have a certain way of doing things. Probably not so much healing, but you know what? It just felt right, and sometimes you have to go with things that feel right, right? Yeah. I spent significantly more time making the background than I did the actual subject of the piece, which is kind of crazy because I don't think I've ever done that before. Usually with the background, I just slap it on, but a lot of things went kind of weird. Part of that is because it's tribal art and I have to watch out because the inside of them can get colored in as well, and I wanted that to be plain. But another part of it is I had an idea, and then I went extra with the idea. So in a little bit, I'm gonna start drawing in the trees, and I wanted it to be kind of like a ghosty, misty sort of look because tribal art kind of reminds me of Halloween for some reason. And that's the first tree. Kind of ghosty, kind of misty, doesn't really deviate from the actual piece. But then I ran with it, and I ran a little too far, and that happens all the time. But you know, it's okay. It is what it is. If I could change the piece, I would have kept the background just like this. Left it like this. And then I may have gotten rid of some of the green, or all of it, in the middle of the black for the deer. But it's all part of the learning experience, you know? You find what works, what doesn't work, and the reason the background ended up being quite different from what I expected is because that white thing on the right where his head is, I screwed up the dang layers. That happens all the time. You see, I've been doing digital art only since March, so I'm pretty young to it still, and I'm learning a lot. But rule number one of digital art is figure out your layers. Layers are definitely not intrinsic for me. I really have to think about them. And sometimes, even when I think about them, I still screw them up, and that's okay, because usually I can work around them, but in this one it posed quite a challenge. See, it kind of has that like misty, ghosty look to it. Along with deer being elegant, they remind me of being a very peaceful creature. Now, where I live, or where I grew up even, there were deer everywhere, or are deer everywhere. They're not a nuisance animal, but we have an overpopulation of them, and people really don't give them as much appreciation as I think they deserve because they do smell funny. I will not lie, you can usually smell a deer before you see them. But I think they're so pretty. In the summertime, their coats are like bright orange, and I think that's so unique. Especially for around here, we don't have very many brightly colored things, because everything's green in the summer. Green and boring. Pretty, but boring. So when you see like a bright orange deer that somehow blends in, even though it's bright orange with all the greenery, it's pretty dang cool. And then the wintertime they get a gray coat, and they look like everything else around them because snow is sad and boring. No, I'm very fond of deer. I have a lot of deer stories. Maybe I'll share them at a different time. And for the Virgo symbol, which is actually quite beautiful, I like the M with a little swoosh there, I decided to put it right out in the open because Virgo people are very direct. Everything is on their sleeve. They're quite an open book, and so I decided to put it right there, right in the middle. and I rather liked how it turned out. Not hiding a thing. And thank you very much for making it to the end of the video. If you liked it, well, consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. See you, bye.